Nobody talks about what happens to mature women when they've been celibate for too long, okay?
Hey beautiful people, how you are doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. All you are doing, hope you guys are doing fantastic. So all the matured ladies come here and all the younger girls listen, okay? So this video is a video of a sister who came on to ask a question, and it's to the matured ladies and saying that, you know what, mature ladies, what happens when you've been celibate for a while? What happens when you're trying to come back? And she wanted to talk about how, yes, younger girls, it's easy for them to go on a celibacy journey and then come back and then just get somebody to do the do. But with a matured woman, it can sometimes be hard because now she's thinking it like, you know what, is this worth it? Does this person value me? Do I have to do this? And all that. And this has like a bigger conversation. She really went on to really dive deep into how matured women will not just give the cats just like that after being on celibacy for a while. And like I'm really here to really know what other people have to say, but I also want to know from you, if you ever been celibate ever in your life before, go ahead and let us know down in the comment section how it is trying to get back into it. Was it awkward and all that? But anyway, let's go check out what the sister have to say, and then we'll come back and talk more and get people's thoughts. So let's go check it out, then we'll talk more.
Nobody talks about what happens to mature women when they've been celibate for too long, okay? And I say mature because when you're immature and you're celibate, it's really easy to like jump on the first thing that you see as soon as you need the itch scratched, and then you end up repeating cycles because you haven't really learned yet, right? But when you're mature and you decide to be celibate for a long period of time, it's not as easy to just get back out there, okay? Because now, before you jump on anything, you're thinking twice. You're like, does this person value me? Am I going to enjoy this experience? What am I going to get out of it? Can I even have casual experiences anymore? Like, what makes me feel good? What, all the things that you didn't think about before, now you're thinking about them, which means that you're not going to jump on the first thing that comes around, and then you're going to stay celibate for even longer. And I'm there. Okay, I'm there, and I'm not enjoying it anymore. Honestly, I want a husband. I want a husband because I don't want to jump on anything that is going to stress me out. You know, I want to jump on something that's mine. I also want to be soft. I don't feel soft anymore, you guys. I feel like I don't feel hyper masculine. I have overcome being hyper masculine in times like this, which I really love for myself, because at one point I would have just went straight into hyper masculinity and been like a man, but I don't have to do that. I get to be in my feminine energy, and I get to just, you know, want to scratch an itch that I can't scratch, because I'm not gonna just scratch it with anybody. So yeah. Nobody talks about what happens to mature women when they've been celibate for too long. And
Are we talking about this? Is this a thing that we can talk about? I've talked about a lot of private things on the internet, but this one feels like maybe I'm going to take it too far. But I guess let's see. I'm 45 years old. I feel like I qualify as a mature woman. I think that the woman that I just stitched is significantly younger than that. But I've not been celibate, but I've been abstinent for 12 years. That's a long time. And I have barely dated. Barely. And for the first several years, it was excruciating. I would say, I don't think I want that. And then someone would come along and I would have limerence. If you don't know what that is, that's where you want someone and sort of obsess about them and they don't want you back. And the qualifier for limerence is that you just have to have a little hope. I have notoriously fallen in love with men who were my friends, who did not have a sexual attraction to me, and I would give a lot of myself in the hope that maybe one day that they would see. And that even happened less than a year ago with a friend who, quite frankly, I love this man, you know, he's a wonderful human being, but quite frankly, this particular person led me on. And in hindsight, I don't think he intended to, but he did. And I learned once more that you have to speak up early on. And that is difficult to do, because a big part for me of abstinence, of abstaining from sleeping with anyone has been the fear of rejection. And so the trouble with limerence is it always gives you hope. You're never rejected, but you're always rejected. You never have to face them saying that they don't want you back, but you're really literally facing it every single day that you perpetuate that relationship. Now, I have to say that the passing of my mother has somehow liberated me from all of that desire. I can't explain it. I don't know. Maybe it's because she rejected me so much, and so much of my existence I just wanted to be good enough for her, and now she's gone and there's no one left to perform for. I do know for sure that as a young girl, I learned to sing and dance and be funny and entertaining because it pleased her, and it was one of the only things that I could do to really get her affection and attention. And up until she passed, even, she would share videos of me singing and things, but I could never get her to just care about how I was doing. Which, that's it. Mothers and daughters are complicated relationships, and ours was extenuated by the fact that my mom was white, and she told me that my black father assaulted her, and it wasn't true. And she told me that right before she died. There are videos about that on my page if you are curious about any of that. It's too long to talk about. That said, woo, squirrel. Her passing it's liberated me in a lot of ways from wanting, really anything with anyone. The circumstances would have to be so extreme and so perfect. How do you share a bathroom with a partner? Gross. I don't want to do that. If I showed you this makeup table right now, it's got makeup and crap all over it. I'm kind of messy, but I don't want to deal with someone else's mess. I'd have to have my own bathroom. I'd have to have my own closet. He'd have to have, might even want separate bedrooms so we could just come together when we felt like having a lot of fun. I would love to be, it would have to be someone who travels so we could miss each other, because I don't want to be up your butt all the time and I don't want you up mine. And all these things you've just developed this list of like, oh, you think this would only work for me? This is just who I am, the way I'm built. I think this would only work for me if there was this qualifying criteria. And that's nearly impossible. And I really have come to terms with, I'm pretty comfortable. My life is very, very good. It is a very full, beautiful existence with lots of love and lots of friends. And I already told you, I got to water the garden. I'm abstinent, not celibate. So things are tended to. I will never have a tiny body, and I've come to love the big body that I live in. And that was impossible. That's been impossible when trying to fit myself into the mold of what I think a man wants. I don't know. Nobody does talk about mature women and what happens when we've been abstinent or celibate for a long time. And I think that's just because we are at peace. There's not a lot to say. Life is pretty good. And it's made a lot simpler when there's no one to be tap dancing for all of the time. I do love men. I'm definitely attracted to men. And I love them. I have some of the most amazing men in my life. Most of them happen to be husbands to my friends or relatives. My son is an amazing young man who I hope he falls in love sooner rather than later and enjoys that part of his life. And who knows, I'm 45. Maybe when I'm 95, I'll think you were a dumbass and why didn't you get out there and work to meet somebody? But I feel confident that while I may have regrets for not trying harder, I'm also going to be really, really proud of myself for cultivating relationships that are so deeply meaningful and long-lasting with people who love me. Because I think the thing that I really would like to convey to you, other women, younger women, is that love is so deep and rich and valuable. And movies teach you that love comes from romance and relationship, and it can. But there's just so much love that comes from other places. And if you're constantly chasing, I'm not advocating celibacy or abstinence. I don't know if I said this already, but I would sort of encourage younger women to don't stop trying. But I also want you to know more than anything that love comes in so many other forms. Love comes in the most abundant form of love in my life today is the relationship I have with my girlfriends. We are chosen family, and they are the loves of my life, and they meet so many needs. And the physical ones I can take care of myself.
Nobody talks about what happens to mature women when they've been celibate for too long, okay?
Okay, no, but can we talk about this one, y'all? As I talk about this phenomenon in the book that I'm writing about my own celibacy journey that's coming soon, I even talk about it in the celibacy/abstaining journal that I created for those who are currently on that journey. But there comes a point in your journey where despite your physical desire for intimacy, you mentally and emotionally cannot fathom you actually doing it. Meaning the risk in giving someone access to your body like that after a while begins to outweigh any pros that kind of intimacy has to offer. Or the only way you can fathom giving someone access to your body like that is somebody you're committed to seriously. Because abstaining is its own little safety bubble. On this journey, worrying about catching STIs, catching the pregnant, and catching feelings is really at an all-time low, and it feels so good and so safe to be in that kind of space. As much as you may want to step outside that bubble and get your freak on, it's cold outside that bubble and the warmth of the inside of it keeps you in.
Nobody talks about what happens to mature women when they've been celibate for too long, okay? And
nobody really does talk about it, and that's really unfortunate because I have found myself celibate now since 2019. I didn't really do it for any other reason except for I was just really tired of trying really hard and not getting anything really in return. I found myself really focused on trying really hard to be what someone else wanted instead of being who I wanted to be. I found myself not even really knowing who I was because I was just trying to be what everybody else wanted. Has anybody else found themselves like recently practicing celibacy or wanting to lean towards that? Because that was really something I never saw myself doing, but I actually really enjoy it and I don't plan on going back.
Okay. I really want to know your own take on this. Are you on a celibacy journey? Have you ever been on a celibacy journey? If you are, what are your thoughts on this and how does it feel? Okay. And also, I want to ask this question: what's the difference between abstinence and celibacy? Can somebody help me there? I know I could easily Google it. But can somebody help me? Okay, what's the difference? Being celibacy and abstaining, what's the difference? What's the difference? I would love to know your own take on this. But yeah, I find this conversation very, very interesting. Yeah, you guys know I have a long-term partner, so I know I can be in that place where I'll say I'm celibate. But also, I can also really say that when you've been with somebody for long, sometimes you're just like, okay, I just want to be with my space, like all that. And I feel like I've been to that place where I'm in that space where I'm so, like, I always tell my husband that if anything happens to me and him, that maybe we'll go our separate ways and all that. Like, I always say on my videos, I'm with my husband because I want to be with him, not because I have to be with him, not because I need him, man. So I've always told him that if anything happens to our relationship and we have to go our separate ways, I don't really think I can deal with a man ever, both physically, sexually, because I've gotten to that place where I am so self-centered, I am so self-loved, like that having a man or sometimes even having my husband in my space, he knows, like we don't share the same bathroom, like he knows, like sometimes I can stand him and he knows when to leave, like just allow me to have my space, like this pretty office which I need to get together. It's my own little space, and he knows when I'm here. He doesn't come in here because he knows this is mine, that I want to be by myself. And I did that journey on that path where I was finding myself and knowing myself and loving myself. And I feel like it takes a lot of courage for women to say, you know what, I want to go on a celibate journey or an abstinence journey. I feel like it takes a lot and to even stand on it, because I feel like sometimes when it comes to being sexually active with men, it's usually very performative when it comes to women, because naturally there's a lot of women, you guys can quote me on this one, there's a lot of women, and research has proved that has never ever even experienced orgasm before. And so when they're having, they usually make the men feel like, oh, that was the best thing they ever had, it was very nice, when in reality they are not there yet. And most women have gotten to that place where they can they can um they can take care of themselves, they can satisfy themselves without a man, and they even do it better than a man does. So when it comes to being sexually active and all that, most of the time some women do it for just to keep a man, for being very performative to a man. And till you not know who you are, what you are, your worth, you just keep going to do that over and over again. And a lot of young girls still do that to today, that they can't even tell their man, like, you know what, this does not cut it, or even navigate their man. Like in my own environment, you can navigate a man on how it's going to satisfy you, because if you do, then you're going to tell that man, especially if the man is serious with you, where you learnt it and how do you know that's what satisfy you. So for me, I find this conversation very interesting, and I really want to know, you guys that have ever been on it, how it feels. But I feel like when you, as a woman, you've gotten to that place where you know yourself, you love yourself, you're doing everything for yourself, and you have the right and people around you. Okay, I feel like that whole urge to perform for men, both even sexually, might not be there, and you would become, I feel like you now become very very picky about the people you want around you, the people you give your time and energy to generally. So yeah, I find this very very interesting, but also I want to know your take on this. Please, I would love to know you guys take, if you've ever done it, if you know somebody that's done it, I love to know your own take on this, okay? But please keep it respectful, as always here on this channel. Here on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but do it in a respectful way. So feel free to share your opinion. Love to know your own take. And go on and share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that will be you supporting this channel and this girl. Yeah, with that all said, guys, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.